Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm back at it like a crack addict. Here I am. Today, going to be doing some new plastics and graphics on the KTM. I got some new full OEM of Cherubies plastics, and I got some SKDA Moto graphics I'll be putting on, had them custom designed. So they'll be going on the 300 XCW. And as you can see, I got my Germany jersey on with the World Cup going on. Got to support my team. Who you guys rooting for? Let me know in the comments. But beyond the point. Today can go one of two ways. Either today I'll show you how you could properly install some graphics on new plastics, have your bike looking nice and clean. Or the second part, possibly could be most likely, I could be teaching you how not to put on graphics and learn from my mistakes. When it comes to graphics, I am not patient, and I usually always have bubbles or some kind of errors because I get rushing and impatient. But today I'll be doing the wet method. I got some glass cleaner, spray on the plastics after I clean and prep them with some alcohol, and then that way that gives me a little more room for air. Put the graphics on wet, reposition them, start middle out, get any bubbles, excess fluid out, and then lightly go over it with a heat gun, dry it, make sure they stick and look nice. Sounds easy, but let's get to it and find out. All right, so you can see here, I got the graphics kit. And then I got all new the Cherubies plastics, got the full kit. So before we get started, and just to make sure there's no errors before I go to the point of no return, I'm gonna open up the plastics, I'm gonna open up the graphics and just kind of put them over the plastics and just make sure they line up, they fit, everything's good and proper. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and take the plastics off the 300 and just kind of line all these up. Make sure the bolt holes match, make sure Cherubies didn't accidentally send me a wrong kit or wrong plastics. Not saying they did, but it's always good to be safe. Better safe than sorry. So just put the graphics over the plastics, make sure they're the right ones and they fit, and then make sure the plastics bolt up to the bike. And then I'll go ahead and install the graphics once they're on the bike, because once they're mounted on the bike, it's like a second pair of hands. I don't have to hold it. The bike they'll be installed and I can just focus on putting the graphics on. Some people like to put the graphics on first with the plastics off the bike. I'm not going to do that because they just move around too much and I think it makes it harder, but to each their own. So let's get going. Next step. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and open everything up and just kind of do a dry run here with the graphics. this point, I'm just going to start ripping the plastics off the bike now, installing them. I'm pretty sure everything's right. The few I checked are right. So I'm going to assume the other ones are too. Alright, let's start getting the bike plastics off. Alright, so we got the bike on the stand. Let's go ahead and get all these old plastics off and put the new ones on. Go from there. What's up, guys? Sorry about that. I didn't realize my GoPro, the battery died or overheated. The battery was at 2%, but probably died and overheated around the same time. But you didn't miss much. As you can see, I just got all the back plastics off and the shrouds. I'm putting the new ones on. I'm going to put the new side panels, new rear fender, and hook the wiring back up for the brake light. Had a little difficulty you didn't get to see. In here from the factory, they ran the cable through the battery and it was all smashed up against the side and the bars of the frame. So it was a pain to get to the brake cable to disconnect and pull it from the fender. So I'm just gonna I loosened the battery and all this up and just moved it forward a little and wedged the wire through. So I'll do the same thing when I put it back together. But yeah, I'm gonna keep putting the plastics back on. If the GoPro overheats, you might miss some more stuff. I'm in the garage and it's pretty hot out today. Took the Germany jersey off, as you can see. I was starting to sweat too much. But yeah, I'm gonna get to it, and if it overheats, I'll try to catch it and swap batteries and record again. But the most important thing you want to see is putting the graphics on. Either you're going to learn a trick how to do it the easy way, or you're going to learn from my mistakes and learn how not to do the graphics install. So let's continue to install the plastics. I got all the new plastics on. Now pretty much I'm just gonna spray some alcohol and everything, clean up all the plastics, clean off any residue or oils that might be on there from the manufacturing process. You're just gonna use regular rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol spray, a couple bucks at your local pharmacy or Target or whatever. I did want to mention a few things about the Cherubies plastics I didn't like. The front fender, the OEM KTM ones have these little metal grommets in there, so there's no space between the bolt and the plastic. The Cherubies ones just has one big drilled out plastic hole, and they don't give you the grommets for it. And the ones on the OEM fenders, they don't pop out. They're melted into the plastic. So, I mean, there's no big deal. I just put some washers there and it's holding good. And I don't like how a Cherubies, right across the front of the plastic right here, you can see the line from where the molds met. It's just like a raised line going across. So putting the graphics over there, I hope it don't give me no problems. The factory KTM one, totally smooth. There's no lines from the manufacturing process. And I decided to reuse my old front fender, or my light plate, number plate. The one that came with the Cherubies kit. The plastic is all solid, so you got to get a drill and drill your own holes and put the bolts through the holes. I didn't want to do all that. And mine is fairly new because I got an aftermarket, a Cherubies light, and it came with the new front number plate. And it's only got a couple rides on it, and there's no scratches or nothing, so I'm just going to reuse that one. I did tuck the cables in behind. I know it's not supposed to be like that, but I just did that so I could have a clean surface to put the graphics on. Once the graphics are on and cured for 24 hours, I'll go ahead and put the cables back and run them through there. I just don't want them in the way of rubbing the new graphics or when I'm trying to lay them on. And yeah, that was my gripes and complaints. The shrouds that come with the kit are gloss black. The factory OEM ones were matte black. I got matte graphics too. I mean, I guess the graphics will cover that up, no big deal. But just letting you know all the little details for you guys out there that might be buying some new plastics and doing graphics soon. All in all, the Cherubies kit's good. It came with all the graphics needed, just a few little pet peeves. But yeah, let's go ahead and start cleaning up and let's start putting the graphics on. Alright, sprayed everything down with some alcohol. It's all dried up. So I'm probably going to work my way from the front with the graphics. Nah, yeah, I suck at doing graphics, so I'm going to start with the easiest rear fender, work my way up, and hopefully I can find a routine and not mess it up too bad. You'll either learn some cool tricks during this video or you'll learn how not to do graphics for my mistakes. Alright, let's get started. Alright. Got my heat gun. Got the first graphic I'm going to start with, and then I got some glass cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead, peel this off. Oh man. Not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. So I'm not using a squeegee. I washed my hands really good before starting this. So I'm just went down the middle and then work to the outside. Getting all the bubbles and stuff out. I actually really like these matte graphics. Compared to the gloss graphics, these ones actually seem like they lay down better. I'm gonna get a dry microfiber, kind of use that to use this to dry the edges. I'm gonna use a little bit more force now. Make sure I squeeze all that glass cleaner out. You can kind of see it coming out the sides. Get the heat gun. I just got a little cheap one off Amazon. Let's see here. So you don't want to hold the heat gun too close. And you don't want to hold it too long because it will damage the graphics. Mainly want to do the heat gun around the edges so the edges don't come up. Oh, that's why it's taking so long. I thought this was fan speed, but this is heat. Check and make sure. So they say this activates the glue around the edges so the edges don't come popping up. You see you got the glass cleaner coming out. Heat's pushing it out now. You can kind of feel as you know you're almost getting done with the heat. the graphic gets soft and kind of folds into the contours. There's a little contour right here. And I can feel the graphic start to contour to it. And you don't gotta do it all at once, because once you're done, you're gonna go over it again. And they recommend after 24 hours. So tomorrow I'll just go over the whole bike with the heat gun again, just around the edges. Make sure no corners are lifting. All right, now I'm gonna do these side pieces. All right, so these go here. All right. I think I'm gonna use the glass cleaner again. Worked good. Got the graphic. All right. I really like how that one turned out. Yeah, I find using a spray of Windex or any type of glass cleaner works good. It gives you a little bit of time to move it around, but look, it's not too slippery. It's pretty much set now. So it just gives you like a few moments to really get it in place. And look at that. I'm trying to slide it around. It's not sliding. I heard this way is better than soap and water because they say soap and water can ruin the adhesiveness of the decal. I don't know how true that is, but so I'm just really making sure I push that edge. So that's where it's going to come up if it does. feels nice and warm. Yeah, I really like these matte graphics. They lay down really good. And I'll go over this again later with the heat gun. But yeah, I really like this method so far. It's pretty straightforward. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the bike, and then I'm gonna show you what you got. I can't talk today, I'm tired. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the bike. I'm gonna keep doing the same method I'm doing, and once I'm all done, I'll get back on camera and show you guys how it turned out. Alright, what's up everyone? So 24 hours has passed. I finished installing all the graphics on the bike. I let the graphics sit for 24 hours to cure. Then I just went over with everything with the heat gun again and put the seat back on in the headlight. And before I show you the completed, all done version of the KTM, I want to say sorry. I know this video is probably going to suck. My stupid GoPro kept overheating, turning off, battery dying way sooner than it should, turning off, and it was pissing me off. It was driving me crazy. I didn't even want to bother it no more. So sorry if this video seems like it jumps around or skips a bunch of stuff. But yeah, without talking too much more, let me show you what the bike looks like now.